All right, so let's talk about some of the roadblocks, the things that get in the way of partnership. And some of these can be challenging sometimes to be aware that you're doing them. So we're going to talk about what they are and maybe how to be careful not to do it. So the first one I want to talk about is labeling. Labeling is when we give a name to something. So we see a child behaving in a certain way, so then we say that they're defiant, or they're a brat, or that they're hard-headed, they're lazy. Once we've given them a label, we often see them through that filter. And so then we'll treat them that way, which actually reinforces that behavior, and we'll probably see more of it. So if you catch yourself going, oh, my child is this defiant, hard-headed brat, or any of those types of descriptors, catch yourself, stop, and try to identify maybe that's just a behavior. And if it's just a behavior, I can be curious about it. I can talk with my child. I can collaborate with them and work with them to find out what's going on. Because normally there's just something going on. It's not that they're hard-headed. They're just seeing the world in a different way than you are. The next one I want to talk about is judgment. Now, judgment is when we start seeing things as either right or wrong, good or bad. We put our values and what we see that has to be on our child or other people. So judging looks like when we're talking with our child of whether they did it right or wrong, or what they should or shouldn't be doing, what they could have or couldn't have done. When we add those judgments to the conversation, we're really stifling and we're shutting down partnership. Because the child now feels like they have to conform to whatever it is that you judge them on. And so they don't feel open and ready to be able to talk about the things that don't match up to your judgments, to the things you are saying that are right or wrong, good or bad. So it stifles the chance for them to feel like they can collaborate and work with you. So controlling is our third one to think about. Controlling is where we're telling the child it has to be this way, do this my way. When we control the situation, it stifles the child because they don't feel like they have a voice. So then they're not going to speak up about what they're seeing. There might be problems that they see, but they don't feel like they can speak up to tell you. So instead of coming in and saying it has to be my way, we want to come in and invite the child to do what it is that we're hoping to get done. We want to collaborate with them. This gives them opportunity to discuss any issues, problems, concerns that they have. So the next one is dominating, which is like controlling and very similar, but it's where we're so overbearing that we always make things always go our way. And sometimes this one's hard to see because we just know what we want to do and how we want to do things, and we just make that happen. But this one, we want to step back a little bit. When we have our thoughts and ideas and we just plow forward, we need to stop, pause, and invite others' opinions in so that we hear them all. So our next piece is when we're not being open, honest, and transparent. This can cause a lot of problems with partnership. Openness, which is just being open about conversations. Honesty, which is making sure that we're telling it truthfully, that we're not sugarcoating it or trying to hide things from the child. We should allow it to just be talked about. Transparency, this is sharing our intentions, not just being transparent about things going on, but also what are your intentions. So we want to make sure that we're really clear, really open about our intentions, talking about them, sharing them. So our next one goes hand in hand with openness. And this has to do with when we're not allowing our children to come to the table and be part of the decision-making process. Sometimes parents get caught in the making all the decisions. However, kids have a lot of opinions. They have a lot of thoughts about what might be good and what might go well. We want to bring them to the table so that they feel like they have a voice, that gives them confidence, that they feel like they actually are part of what's going on. It helps build that partnership. So bring them to the table. Help them be part of the decision-making process. The next one is when we don't allow our kids to brainstorm and come up with solutions. When we interrupt that process, we want to allow the space for them to brainstorm. We want to allow them to be coming up with their solutions. We might give some guidance, we might give some ideas, But it's really critical, if we want a collaboration and partnership, that we allow them to work through that process. And in most cases, try to come up with their own solution. Also, going hand in hand with this is allowing for failure at times. I actually struggled with this one as a parent when I was younger. I'd see my kids working on something, maybe like an art project, and they couldn't get it quite right, and so I would swoop in and then I would fix it for them. This created a lot of problems because then they felt like they could never fail. And then it would really bother them because I gave the perception that they have to be perfect. So then I realized I had to stop that, and I started allowing failure to happen. But then I was there as a support, that it was okay that failure happened, because it really wasn't failure. It was this learning moment for them. It was a chance for them to process, well, how did they get there? What could they do differently? I could be there as a partner, a collaborator, instead of swooping in and fixing things. One other that we'll bring up here, and the list could go on, but thinking your reputation is on the line. If you think your reputation is on the line, you're probably going to be treating the child in a very controlling manner. Your reputation is not on the line. Children are going to be children. I don't care how perfect the parents are, they're going to be children. So we allow it. We give them the space within a safe environment and guiding them. This allows for that partnership to thrive so that we're not controlling what's happening. And that's a big one. We're not trying to control things. We're trying to create an environment that allows that partnership, allows guidance, and allows us to work with our children. Again, there's a lot of other things that can get in the way, but we wanted to give a few different ideas. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what partnership is, why it's important, and some of the ways that you can grow it, and things that you should be careful of that might stop you from doing it.